Let's practice solving quadratic equations. That's what we're going to be doing in this video. And I'm going to be solving these 5 quadratic equations. Now, if you think you know how to solve quadratic equations, that's excellent. So what I would encourage you to do is maybe pause the video, go ahead and use this as a little pop quiz, and then watch my solutions. Now, I'm going to go through the solutions pretty quickly because to explain every single detail of quadratic equations and how to solve them, that's a lot of material, okay? So I'm going to give you some suggestions on how to improve with quadratic equations as we go through the solutions. Of course, I'm going to be talking about, what we need to do with these problems. But again, if you're struggling with quadratic equations, you're going to probably need much more than what I'm going to be covering in this video. But before we get started, let me quickly introduce myself. My name is John, and I have been teaching middle and high school math for decades. And if you need help learning math, well, check out my math help program at tcmathacademy.com. You can find a link to that in the description below. And if this video helps you out, or if you just enjoy this content, make sure to like and subscribe, as that definitely helps me out. All right, let's get into these problems. I have 5 problems here. And if you think you can solve them, go ahead and pause the video and do that. Now, I'm going to get into just a quick overview of quadratic equations. So when you're dealing with quadratic equations, we need to know a few things. All right, just a fast review. First of all, we're talking about polynomials of degree 2. And that's just kind of a fancy kind of description of saying you'll always have 2 solutions. Okay, so I'm kind of giving you a little bit of a tip here. If you are solving a quadratic equation, you only have one answer. Well, you're doing something wrong because there will always be 2 solutions. Now, that could be real number solutions or imaginary complex number solutions, but you'll always have 2. All right. Now, what type of techniques can we use? Well, there's different tools that we can use to solve quadratic equations. Sometimes we could take the square root of both sides. You're going to see all these things, by the way, in this video with the exception of one. And then sometimes we can factor, all right? And anytime we can do this, we should do this. Anytime we can factor to solve, we should do this. And if we can't do any of these two guys, we can always use something called the quadratic formula. Okay, of course, you need to know this. And then there's like a longer version to the quadratic formula. What you need that you need to know as well, it's called completing the square. So these are like our tools in our quadratic equation toolbox that you need to know. All right. So again, 2 solutions. Sometimes you could do this. Sometimes you could do that. You can always do this, and you can always do this. All right. Now this is the longer version of doing that. All right, so hopefully this little graphic organizer has kind of mentally prepared you for these problems. Now I'm going to go through these pretty quickly. Again, if you don't understand what I'm doing, here's 2 suggestions. One, I have tons of videos on quadratic equations in my algebra playlist on my YouTube channel, and I teach this thoroughly in multiple courses of mine. So if you're taking algebra, I have a great algebra course. If you're taking algebra 2, quadratic equations are in there. I teach that in there, or Precalculus, college algebra. So this is taught at various different levels. So you can check out my courses if you really want to learn this stuff. And without further ado, let's get into our prompts. Okay, here we go. X squared is equal to 18. All right, we know what's the situation here? Well, it's a quadratic equation. All right, it's a polynomial degree 2, 2 solutions. This is a scenario. I don't have that middle term, x, so I can take the square root of both sides. So I'm going to take the square root of both sides, okay? Square root of x squared is x, the square root of 18. Now I can write my answer this way, and you need that positive and negative because, again, this is the positive and negative. When you take the square root of 18, all right, it's both positive and negative square root of 18, okay? Now, the positive and negative are 2 roots. You'll have a positive version and a negative version. But to be really appropriate here, when you have something like the square root of 18, you need to kind of simplify that. So 18 is the same thing as 9 times 2, okay? So 9 times 2, here I can break up these radicals, all right? So the square root of 9 is 3 radical 2. So our 2 solutions is x equals positive, negative, square root of 3. Okay, remember, I could write this as a positive 3 square root of 2. I can write that as positive 3 square root of 2 and a negative 3 square root of 2. That's our 2 answers. But instead of writing like the same number twice just to show this, the sign, we just typically just write this thing and put that little positive and negative. So this is important, that little positive and negative stuff when it comes to describing or writing your roots. All right, so let's move on, and hopefully you got this right. And if you got that right, let me go ahead and give you a happy face. It wasn't that hard, but let's still give you a nice thumbs up. All right, let's talk about this next problem. Well, here is another situation where I can take the square root of both sides. So I have something squared, and I have a number. So this is a perfect setup for taking the square root of both sides. Now, as we go through here, we're going to be looking at different types of quadratic equations. This is just a quick overview. It's just practice, but you're going to need more practice and more instruction if you're kind of weak on this stuff, okay? All right, so here I can take the square root of both sides, and let's do that. So the square root of x plus 1 squared is x plus 1, okay? So anything squared, if I take the square root of it, it's just going to be what's being squared. Okay, so I have x plus 1. The square root of 9 is both positive and negative 3. So now I have two equations. X plus 1 is equal to both positive 3, and x plus 1 is equal to a negative 3. And then I just solve these respective equations. Okay, just subtract 1 from both sides. I get x is equal to 2. And now I subtract 1 on both sides here. I get x is equal to negative 4, and these are our two solutions. All right, so if you got that right, let me go ahead and give you a big check mark and another happy face. Again, not that difficult, but just we're warming up, okay? All right, so let's move on to something like this. All right, now, in this situation, we can't take the square root of both sides. You can't be like, let me just move this negative 8y over here and then try to do that. We can't do that, okay? You can take the square root of both sides when you have like a number over here by itself, okay? So we don't have that. Again, I'm kind of doing a quick overview, and there's either other more little details I'm kind of not getting into because I just don't want to turn this into a 2-hour long video on quadratic equations and all the different techniques, okay? But anyways, in this particular situation, you can see that it's equal to 0. So when you cannot take the square root of both sides, when you can't take the square root of both sides, what you want to do is set your quadratic equation equal to 0, and it's even better, you want to write it in standard form. That's the highest to lowest power. So for example, if I have 7x squared plus 5x plus 1 is equal to 0, this is in standard form, because we have the x squared first, then we have the x next, and then we have the number last. Okay, so that's what you need to do. You want to get everything written in standard form equal to 0. All right, now, once we have this kind of setup, we can look for other opportunities. So I'm like, I can't take the square root of both sides, but can I factor? All right, so you want to be looking for the easiest things that you can do to solve this. So yes, I can factor. I can factor out a 2y. All right, now of course, if you can't factor, you're going to have a very difficult time passing algebra. Yeah, okay, I would call this a factoring emergency. You need to go learn factoring. Again, I have tons of videos on factoring on my YouTube channel, or again in my math courses. But let's just go ahead and factor out the greatest common factor here. You can see 2y. I can factor out a 2y because 2y times y is 2y squared, and then that's 2y times that 4 is 8y, okay? All right, now this is awesome because I can use what we call the zero product property. So I have this thing times this thing is equal to 0. So I have two things, when I multiply them, the answer is 0. So if I said, hey, listen, I got two numbers and I multiply them together and the answer is 0, what do I know about this one? It's impossible to get an answer equal to 0 if you're multiplying. This has to be 0, or this has to be 0, or both have to be 0, okay? So we call this the zero product property. So we love this because what we're going to do to solve this equation is to set each of these factors equal to 0. We're like, okay, we know one of you guys are 0, maybe both of you are. So 2y, you're probably 0, and y minus 4, you're probably 0 as well. So we're going to go ahead and solve for y. So 2y is equal to 0, y is equal to 0, just divide both sides by 2. And then here, y minus 4 is equal to 0, y is equal to 4. This is basic algebra. Hopefully you know that. And this is our two um, solutions, okay? So if you are on track, you got all of these right so far, then I must give you a happy face with an A. We're not going to give you an A plus because we've got more stuff to cover. And let's go ahead and continue on with our problems. But nice work, okay? That shows me that you have pretty good grounding in this stuff. But now let's tackle something like this. All right, well, this is clearly a situation where I can't take the square root of both sides. I can't do that. And so I'm thinking, well, what are my options? Okay, can I factor? Yes, you should be thinking factoring. You should attempt to factor this. Okay, so if I give you the number 8, I say factor 8, you'd be like, oh yeah, that's 2 times 4. But if I give you the number 13, and I said factor that, because everyone pretty much knows that this is a prime number. There is no other factors. It's not like 2 times 6. There's nothing like that. This is prime. Okay, so it's prime because the only factor of this number is 1. Okay, so this is a prime number. This is basically, we can't factor this. All right, 8 we could factor because we have factors other than 1. So what am I, why did I bring that up? Well, because anytime you are faced with like a trinomial like this, and you're saying, can this be factored? Well, we don't know. Okay, we're going to have to attempt to factor this. All right, but we could end up with a prime situation. In other words, this may not be factorable. Okay, of which, if it's not factorable, then we got to do something else. But if it can be factored, we want to factor it. So again, we're talking about your factoring skills and ability. You absolutely must need to know how to factor. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and look at this. Of course, it's in standard form. It's equal to 0. That's the setup. And yes, indeed, it can be factored. You can see the work here. This can be factored as x minus 1 times x minus 8. If you don't know how to do this, again, you want to check out some of my other videos on factoring trinomials found in my algebra playlist on my channel. But let's go ahead, and now we have the zero product property, right? This times this is equal to 0. So I set each factor equal to 0, okay, in an equation and solve, right? So x minus 1 is equal to 0, x minus 8 is equal to 0. So I got x equals 1 and x equals 8. These are my two solutions. And if you knew how to factor this and you knew how to do this, then that's very, very good. I must give you a happy face. Nice work. Okay. All right, let's move on to our final practice problem. And it's another trinomial, okay? It's equal to 0. So what's the situation here? Well, again, I'm looking at this. I'm like, all right, I definitely can't take the square root of both sides. So can I factor it? Well, I don't know, okay? I mean, I'm looking at it. I'm like, I don't know if you can factor it or not. We need to try to factor it. And as you attempt to factor it, you're going to come to the conclusion that this thing is not factorable. It's prime, okay? So in other words, we can't factor it. So we need to still be able to solve it. So this is where we break out our secret weapon when it comes to quadratic equations. That's the quadratic formula. That's this guy right here. Okay, so we need to know how to work with the quadratic formula. It's like the last resort, but it's awesome, okay, because this formula will solve every single quadratic equation, okay? Now, let's take a look at the setup. We have y squared minus 5y plus 5. Remember, you have to have this in standard form. So when we're dealing with the quadratic formula, we need to know the variable values of a, b, and c. So what is a, what is b, and what is c? Well, a is the coefficient in front of that highest power. So y squared. So what number's in front of it? It's really a 1. We don't write it, but that's what it is. So a is equal to 1. And then b is the number in front of that middle variable. That's that linear factor, that one which is to the first degree. Okay, so this is y. So this guy right here, including the sign, is b. So b is equal to -5. And then the number, including the sign, is c. So we need to know what a, b, and c are. And then once I have my a, b, and c, I can simply go ahead and plug this stuff into the quadratic formula, and then we're off to the races to get our solution. You got to be very, very careful here. Again, I'm kind of quickly going over this, but I can tell you right now, I've graded over the decades, 100 million various quizzes, homework, tests. Maybe not 100 million, that might be too much, but you get the idea. So I'm telling you right now, when people are doing quadratic equation problems, I've graded so many of quadratic equation type of setups with the quadratic formula, you see the common mistakes all the time. So here, if you pay attention to me, you're going to, save yourself some pain. So here, minus b, there's so many places where students make a mistake. They have the general idea, but they mess up with the signs. Use parentheses when you're plugging in these values. So this is minus b, b is negative 5, so it's minus a minus 5, okay? Opposite of a negative 5. Don't start doing the work in your brain, just set it up like this so you can double check yourself. Plus or minus b squared, again, put it in parentheses, negative 5 squared, minus 4 times a is 1. What is c? Okay, c is 5, so this is the setup, okay, and then that's going to be 2 over 2a, again, a is 1. Now, before you do anything, okay, with the quadratic formula, double, triple check. Look at the formula, look at your setup, look at the numbers, do it like a couple, 2, 3 different times, make sure you got it correct, and then move on by simplifying the actual setup here. Okay, so let's take a look at this. Minus 5. That's the opposite of a negative 5. That's positive 5. Plus or minus 5 squared is, of course, 25. Minus 4 times positive 4 times 1 times 5, that's 20. Okay, square root of that over 2 times 1 is 2. So that gives me 5 plus or minus 25 minus 20 is 5 over 2. And this is it. Okay, these are our two solutions. Okay, one would be 5 plus the square root of 5 over 2. Okay, remember that plus or minus, that's one unique solution, and the other would be 5 minus the square root of 5 over 2. Okay, so let's wrap up this video. If you understood all of this stuff, okay, and you were able to get this 100% right, you're looking pretty good for quadratic equations test or quiz, or whatever the case might be. But I must reward you with an A plus, a 100%. Matter of fact, if you were in my math class, I might just say take the rest of the year off. I'm like, I don't know what you're doing. You're probably watching that guy on YouTube because, you seem to know this stuff pretty well. But quadratic equations are absolutely critical in any kind of algebra course. You're not going to be able to escape them. And I would say these problems here are average, all right? Like there's much more difficult problems. I can use decimals and fractions, and there's other varieties of this. But, this was a good variety of problems just to discuss the various different techniques and tools and skills that you need to solve quadratic equations. All right, so if this video has helped you out in some small way, please consider smashing that like button. That helps me out tremendously. And if you're new to my YouTube channel, please consider subscribing. I've been on YouTube for 10 plus years, have over 1,000 plus math videos, basic to advanced mathematics, all there for you. My goal always is to try to make math clear and understandable. So if you like my teaching style, I have a ton of content there for you, and I'm posting new stuff all the time, but my best math help will be within my Math Help program. Okay, so with that being said, I want to wish you all the best in your mathematics adventures. Thank you for your time, and have a great day.